Hello, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha. I'm here as a psychic medium to help you do a lot of the work you have in your life. And that's the thing is that within the world today, we're being tossed around quite a bit. So I want you to know that, going through your life, we're really working through stuff. So I would just want you to know that, as we're going through these equinox energy at the beginning of the week, Monday, then we had Tuesday on new moon, and then, we're going through a lot of different things, and the veil is thinning. And so on Monday's show on the Dance of Soul, um, I talked to, and Regan and I, my partner, talked about some dances that we had to go through with the equinox. And, if you want to catch that, it's on my YouTube channel, Natasha AC, short for Angelic Clarifications, because the fact that, we are still going to be working through this energy for quite a while. And so, what you're thinking now, what you're working on now with this new moon is going to be pertinent on the seed you plant for a while now. So be really willing to negotiate these different things. Hello on Instagram. Thank you for being here. That if you're willing to work through these little nudges that you're getting to, these this week especially, and this week is not necessarily about perfection. It's not about being able to do things with perfection, because the fact that there's going to be a lot of stirring. I don't know if you've gotten triggered this week with some of the things that you thought were to go your way and then they didn't, or if there was some things that triggered you with just being like this morning. I woke up with I don't want to call it a nightmare, but I was with someone, and they had a health issue, and all of a sudden we were driving off a cliff, her and I. And so that's how I woke up this morning. you know but what I did was is I didn't get triggered into that. I kind of sat with it for a few minutes, tried to negotiate waking up, and I didn't want to wake my husband up because he wakes up pretty early himself. And I was like going, okay, so what do I need to do here? Is this an intuitive? Because I'm very intuitive. I do help people through a lot of their shadow work. I do read, I do look at what messages come from um for dreams, right? And so this dream could have been two different ways. It could have been something that would have told me that to be what does my friend need to be told? Do I need to tell her about you know be careful of da 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 da's, which I did. I reached out and said, hey, just wanted to share a thought of, you know, you know, of joyfulness, and say I love you. And, and by the way, can you be careful of such and such and such and such, right? But then at the same time, this dream was about something coming over them and them passing out. So, and then that's about driving forward, right? So, how does a part of me allow other people to cloud my journey forward, right? And then do I need to go down into the brush and all that kind of stuff, or do I stay on the road, right? And so how am I going to let this stuff, this cloudiness of my brain, which was represented by my friend, how does that cloudiness of myself derail me? Okay, so that's two different perspectives of that dream, right? Because I didn't want to give you details because this is about a friend, so I wanted to kind of keep some anonymity there. But that's the gist of it. So with that, how am I witnessing this story, of myself? So looking at dreams, how is that shadows triggering you to help you do better? Well, I know for me on Friday, last Friday before the new moon and the eclipse and the equinox, not eclipse, but the equinox, I was challenged with my boundaries. I was challenged with people wanting to say that they thought I was a certain person. And I went back to them and I said, you've known me for probably, 10 years now. I have not changed who I've been. I've been still kind, willing, negotiating, sending kindness, love through the school, the situation. I've been doing this, and this. Have I changed anything? No. This is what I've been doing for you, even, and they kind of went, hmm, not shrunk back, but I made them think because who they thought I was being and them putting that on me, I had to set up boundaries and say, no, I have high integrity here. Even though you think I don't, I do. Right. And so, how does that negotiate our story? So, this equinox energy, it's about finding love for ourselves too, right? And kindness because of the fact that this ascension process that we're going through, this has been a big doorway towards that ascension. And the ascension process, to bring it down into everyday wording, it's about how do we negotiate our world? Do we stay in the 3D ego judgment, hatred? You did this to me. I don't believe in that because that's not what my parents told me, or that's not what my uncle told me, or whatever. No, the ascension process is how can we find better kindness for the fellow man? If we can't be friends, can we be friendly? Um, can we find love or more love for ourselves? Right? Can we be inspired to negotiate the waters that we're in with a perspective that isn't always about somebody else's fault, that it's a fault, right? It's a fault. It's not the fault of someone, it's an a fault. An a fault is choices were made that put us into this situation. So whose fault is it? It's a fault. Because who can really take the blame when it's a whole situation that's to blame? So it's a fault. So how can we negotiate a little bit of a story of our life in this negotiation of life? And that's what this ascension process is. It's about finding, when we're on a freeway and the freeway is backed up, do we allow people come in on the freeway? Do we allow them to scissor in, or to zipper in? Do we do that with kindness? Or, I have boundaries too. Let somebody in front of me, hopefully the person in back of me will let somebody in, right? So I have kindness with boundaries. Somebody come in, I go. Somebody come in, they go. Somebody come in, the other person goes, right? How can we have kindness for our fellow man, but have boundaries so I can have kindness for the person in back of me so they can keep moving, right? So there's that kindness for the whole situation. And when we have this kindness, it does help our day go better. I can tell you that my life's not perfect. I have ups and downs. There is troubles. There's negotiations. That's the teachers. Our situations are the teachers to help us negotiate life a little differently. How many things did you do when you were 8 years old? Did you do different because you learned so much in between 8 and the age you are now? Right? Because we've learned to do things a little different. Now, many of us have gotten, a little bit rougher skin. We've gotten a little bit tougher knowledge. We've gotten sometimes a lot of a heartache. That doesn't make sense. We've gotten heartache. We've gotten, but do we stay in judgment towards that heartache, or do we go, oh, thank you for helping me learn that I can't just love just anybody? That I really have to look at how do I love myself to pull the right person to me. Because the fact that I can tell you that in my marriage of 32 years now, that, that it wasn't about how much did I love that other person that helped my marriage. It was how much do I love myself, which helped me find love for the other person, which helped that other person love me, which helped me love them a lot more. Right? So, how do we engage in the story of how do we do this ascension process? because I can tell you the veils are thinning. We're going to see more work about and more things about the star beings, right? Because they have been on our planet. They've been negotiating with our planet since it was made. I have an understanding in a past life that I watched this Earth being made. I sat on the edge of a spaceship and watched it being made, right? And then I had somebody come up and push me off. No wonder I don't like cliffs, right? So with that how do you negotiate? The star beings have been here. Just because they look like they've been closer, no, they've been here. They're helping us with the ascension process. They're tuning up the earth, Mother Earth. Yes, Mother Earth has an energy. This is the things I know. This is a truth I have. Now, if you don't believe in that, that's up to you. Your truth is your truth. I'm just presenting a truth that I have an understanding of to negotiate this world that we're in. So, as we're going forward and we're seeing more from like Skinwalker Ranch, and which I watch that show, sometimes I don't like their intention that they're doing things in, though. I want to make that clear. I do not like the intention that they're doing things in. If they were to get a medicine man on there and do some blessings for the land, they probably would get a lot further because the fact that they would honor the land. I don't like how they're just going in and just doing things. That's why they're having so much trouble. It's because they're not honoring the situation. So with this, going forward, how do we honor us? How do we honor our fellow person? How do we honor our work? Now, if you're looking at, should I change my job? Excuse me, I had the hiccup. Then how do you do that? But first off, where you're at, can you find a better and cleaner intention? Switch up. Excuse me, I'm hopefully not going to get the hiccups here. That, going forward, that, like for me, my job was changing. I was switching up how I was going into doing my different work, right? But I had to really look at, instead of helping, I'm very dyslexic. So how did I was helping kids with dyslexia, right? So instead of helping the students with my situation, what was I doing? My intention had to switch, and I had switched it up, and my purpose got switched up. It wasn't that I wasn't not supposed to be at school that's a story for the future. But, what ended up switching up was I'm now there for the teachers to give them support, give them love. And the side effect is that the students are going to get help. So how is the things in your world shifting up? Sometimes we have to shift our purpose and our intention of walking into the day. So checking in with who you are. Yes, I'm going to say who you are. Because who you are matters now, not what you are. So look at who you are. Who are you when you talk with a friend? Who are you when you go into a job? Are you the ego master of knowledge, and you're the one who knows it all and that kind of stuff? Or are you the one who can be an elder, quotation marks around that, an elder who can be the teacher? Show your knowledge, show your wisdom by guiding, not telling, right? How can you guide people by doing better? So kindness, inspiration, doing that work. And that's the thing is that in my private counseling sessions that I do enjoy supporting someone finding their greater purpose, switching it just up a little bit. If you've been walking in a lot of shame and heartache and pain because of choices you've made, you have regret. How can I help you with that regret? Well, I have some ways. I have a team that helps me help you, right? I have your guides and wisdom to help you. So if you're looking for some guidance, please get a hold of me, because I do private sessions. And I can tell you, our family members on the other side our loved ones, even if we didn't get along with them in this lifetime in the human form, many a times, they're from a generation that didn't know better to do better. We are becoming the generation that knows better to do better. But we have to practice to do it better. And that practice is honing into the energies, honing into kindness, honing into support, honing into that love balance. What are we doing about life? Are we judging? The ascension process is about the kindness. It's about being our better, warmer self. So, with that, now on the other side of that coin, we're going to have our minds. Our minds are going to be working. How can I do this? My mind is practicing ego all the time. No, how can we practice doing different? And it is about shifting up the perception, finding gratitude instead of hatred, finding the sparkle, like gratitude. Today the sun has been out. We're kind of breaking out into spring today. Tomorrow it's going to be colder. Yeah, okay. It is what it is. But I have gratitude that I have a place to be, a place to know, right? So, and then now, flipping the coin back over, my mind, go back over to the body. The bodies are going to be working on a lot of things. Our ascension process does include the bodies, right? Our food has not been kind to us. So, how are we eating things that are not good for us, right? We have things that just don't want to be digested by our guts because, well, for one, if we're not digesting our life, then how are we digesting our world and our gut? And our guts are telling us, no, I don't like that, right? So if your situation with your body is changing, like maybe you're getting foods that just don't settle the same way, food allergens, kind of like for me, I learned I couldn't eat any corn products because my jaw and up into my ear really hurt, like an ear infection, right? Or lockjaw type of feeling, because it would hurt just to move my jaw, talk, eat. I learned that my body didn't necessarily like tomatoes because I broke out in hives. Now on my back, right? I learned that my body didn't want to eat certain things like with tree nuts in it because my lips started tingling. I started feeling unease. Dairy, it's because of different other things. But if you're looking at those situations, okay, I'm going to tell you, corn has been shifting and changing since before the 50s. 1950s, right? They've changed the dynamics of our wheat and our corn. So a lot of people are gluten free, right? Because they've changed our wheat. They want to make it cheaper. They want to make it more productive, which changed the byproduct of it. So we're getting our gut digestive systems through the second and third generations that are going on are not liking the way our foods have been altered, which is helping us do better. If a lot of people are doing smoothies. I don't do smoothies. They just, oh God, they just gross me out. But I do other forms of other healthiness, right? So how can we negotiate the hiring, the ascension process? Because as our soul wakes up and our bodies wake up with our soul and our higher selves and our guides and our loved ones from the other side start talking to us more, how is that vibration going to be? Well, we have to lighten up so we can feel the difference. And that's why so many people are so empathic about the energies around them. And a lot of people can't handle going into rooms anymore. They have a hard time going into big buildings, grocery stores, and that kind of stuff because that anxiety is coming over them because the vibrations are so challenging now. That's why we're having so many kids that are on the spectrums. For one, our diets. For two, the way that we deal with stress when we're carrying these kids. No judgment here. I had stress when I was carrying mine, and I can tell that my kid has a form of fibromyalgia because of it. and their story, what they're having to work through in their lifetime. They've got their own lessons to deal with too, right? There's no mistakes. It's just what do we do with them? Do we hold on to the pain and ache and the judgment? Like I said, who's truly at fault? Sometimes there's just a fault, not the fault. There's a fault. Two people stop communicating. There's an a fault. It's not they started miscommunicating. There's been so many times that my husband and I stopped talking. Somebody had to start talking. Kids are arguing at school. Who has to stop? Someone has to stop, right? Someone has to say, I'm sorry. Somebody has to say, this is what I'm feeling. And I understand you're feeling this too. Can we come together somehow? Right? So, as you're working through relationships, as you're working through a relationship with yourself, how can you be kinder with yourself? How can you be kinder with the knowings of what's going on? Right? Because we're all in the story of the going forward, and this is that part of the new moon and the equinox that we're coming in. And I can tell you that this energy, if you stay on this idea of having a different intention in your world, right, you'll be able to go into the energies of the summer solstice or the winter solstice if you're in the southern hemisphere, right? And then as we go into the fall equinox here in the upper hemisphere and the spring equinox, we're really in this building up. And I can tell you, 2024 is going to be more interesting than this year because of the fact that we're going through the ascension process as part of this world is not going to be the same thing. So please don't step into the fear. There is fear about the banking system. What can you do in your own home to rectify that? Right? Secure yourself, diversify. My husband's asked me how much money I had in my house. I said X amount, right? And um and that and I said that I had X amount. And they said, and my husband says, you're supposed to put that in the banks. It was funny because on the news the next day, 2 banks closed down. Didn't say a thing. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't right. But I had to do it. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for being here. Hi, Jaylee. And I hope that Michelle, that the baby settled down for you, and I hope I helped you out with that. We're going through this process, and our kids are really feeling the energies. So if your kid is questioning and stepping into fear, stepping into anxiety, check in with the anxiety that you have, or that the house has, right? Because the fact that we don't always know, right? So thank you, Chaley. I am doing good. Actually, I'm kind of still waking up a little bit. With my bad dream that I had this morning. Yes, driving off a cliff was a bad dream. That it's one of those things that happen in this story of who we are. Your funds are FDIC insured up to 25,000. No worries. Yes, exactly. Hi, Veronica. Yes, I understand that. And that's the thing is that we don't need to step into fear. Things are going to happen. But how can we settle ourselves through the ups and downs and the weavings, because not all banks are going to close down, but I can tell you what's going to start happening is thank you. I'm grateful I was helpful for you. That I can tell you that the things that are going to go away are, and this is my intuition speaking here, the things that are going to go away are the things that have less integrity. Does that make you think? How do you walk with integrity in your life? I am so grateful. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day about how many people are getting sober getting off of the drugs, getting off of the alcohols, getting off of a lot of things. I'm not saying that pot and alcohol, or pot in my day, but the you know getting into relieving pain, but it's the intention that you do it with and how much you do it with. Wine once in a while is not bad, but what's not good is the dance of drinking until you're numb, smoking until you're numb, right? How can you negotiate those things? And okay, so I am going to tell you that if you are here to try to do readings for some of my people on my show, I'm going to put up a boundary with loving care and say, please don't. And I'm going to delete your comment. And if you keep making that comment, um, I am going to um, block you, because I can tell you that this does not work for me. So, with that, you may watch, you may be here, but you cannot post about doing things because of the fact that this is my page and I please respect. I do not post on other people's pages about doing readings for them because that is their page. This is my page. Please do not ask for doing readings for someone on my page. So 337 or 373 days clean and sober, Michelle. Congratulations. That is huge. And I can tell you, watching my husband be now 11, almost 12 years sober, that he is walking a path of clarity. And I'm going to say clarity because of the fact that that our stories are about how can we get clearer minded. And that means relieving ourselves of a lot of our past belief systems of who we were. We've made mistakes, flubbles, whatever you want to call them. They're learning lessons, they're learning experiences. How can we leave ourselves of those shame and guilt of what we are? Because those things are the things that made us who we are today. And like my kid even says, Mom, you know what? I wish Dad would have been sober all my childhood. But I can tell you, though, I learned a lot of great lessons, and I wouldn't have learned them if I hadn't gone through what I did. And that's the thing about that that if we can do this story of the negotiation, how is it that we are who we are today because of our experiences? So please, instead of feeling the shame and the guilt from them, ask the question, what did I learn from them? Why did I go through them? It's to learn some experiences. Now, you may not get that experience through or knowing through just asking. That's where I can come in for you, because you know what? People have always said, Natasha, I don't know how you go through this, and this, and this, and get the experience and the knowings of that, and tell me that's what I needed to know. And it makes my life all make sense now, right? Because it's a buildup of experiences, and then the way that I see it intuitively helps bring in that knowing. Because we go through experiences to do it. So, like my dream this morning of being with a friend, driving, them having a medical episode that made us go off the cliff because they were driving, going down the cliff, right? What did that mean? Do I stand in fear my whole day about my friend, having an episode or something? No, I looked at both perspectives. How am I letting other people drive me off the cliff? Right? Going down. Am I allowing these other things happen in my life to drive me down? Or the thing is how am I doing that to myself? Is there a part of myself that is sabotaging this situation? Right? because my friend can represent that part of me that's doing it. And so what did I do? I text the friend and make sure she was okay and send her good wishes. And then I took the perspective of the thing because, with my intuitiveness, you never know why I think of somebody, right? So I just always check on them. Kind of like when you uh, it's kind of like if you what's the word, if you dream of ants and then you have an ant flower, right? And then you wake up in the morning and you go, oh, I have an ant flower or ant that really likes to be in her flowers. Right? I should get a hold of her today. Perspective. If we stand in fear today, we're not going to go through that ascension process we're meant to go through. So I'm going to tell you again, how can you be friendly to someone you're not friends with? How can you be kind to yourself and others? How can you give grace to yourself as you give grace to others? How can you have good boundaries with tough love instead of sarcasm and pointing fingers and ego? Try tough love. Check in with your intention when you're angry with somebody. Check in with why are you angry with them? Is it something that they did? Or is it something that we got pained because they did something? Right? Because we have our own triggers. So when somebody does something, they could have been doing, like for me, sometimes I just hand my husband vitamins, right? And he said he got mad at me one day a couple of years ago about me being his mother. And I said, I am not your mother, my dear. I love you and I want you to be healthy. And so please know this is a caring wife who is helping you. Loving boundaries. Did I yell and scream at him? No. But I mentioned what my intention was. Because it's about maturing. We're not, and I can tell you at the age I am, that we all have immaturities, right? We all have immaturities in our life. We all have things that our inner child comes out in. But the thing is, though, how do we negotiate the world that we're in? By moving forward, finding love and kindness for ourselves, doing the dance of the soul, doing the dance of life, right? So, working through this ascension process, it is about kindness and love. And I can tell you that Mother Earth would appreciate that too. I know for me, I use vinegar in my yard. I took down a bunch of trees and we chipped them up and put that on the ground because of the fact that, the chips got recycled. Didn't want to take down the trees, but they were sick and they needed to be taken down. But that gave light to so much more of my yard, right? So how can we take what's negative, turn it around, and be more loving to each other? Like I said, like on the freeway, it's not about stopping and letting everybody in if they're coming on the freeway, right? If the freeway's backed up, or even if it's not. Do we stop and let 3 or 4 people come in? No. It's called kind boundaries. Kind for the person in back of me, kind for the people zipping in. One come in, one come in, one come in, one come in, like a zipper, right? Be kind. Be kind to the person in back of us. Be kind to the person in front of us. Be kind to the person inside of us. But also say, as they're trying to come into our if they're driving and not paying attention, they're coming into our lane. It's like, hey, dude, honk, honk, honk. Boundaries. Get over, please. Please get over. Not you get over. Kindness. Because I can tell you that kindness, honk, 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 wake up, I'm here. What does that do to them? Maybe they flick you off, but then you can say, oh, well, at least I was kind to them. But I can tell you that at another time, something else is going to teach them and wake them up to be a little bit kinder. So, what in your world is teaching you to strive to do a little different? To strive to do a little different. Not to say that we need to change 100% of us, but it's shifting just a little bit of the perception. Shifting just that little bit of a perception, right? So, today, I have something I got to do after this. So, I'm going to do oracle cards pretty quickly. So, let's see who wants to come out to do an oracle card. You know what? I'm going to do gentle creatures. These guys are just so cute. So if you want an oracle card, what I do is I shuffle for you and I ask you to put the intention out there. Just put the intention. I don't need to know. So on Instagram, if you want a card, if you on Facebook or if you're on Twitter watching, please go to my YouTube channel, Natasha AC, short for Angelic Clarifications, and say what kind of card you want. So I'm going to do the gentle creatures. These guys are just so cute. So cute. Yes, I am doing 2 different cards. So I think I'm going to do the unicorns, the unicorn cards. And Chaylee, you can have one too. So let me know when do you want? Do you want the unicorn cards? They've been coming out, unicorns. That's another thing. We're going to start seeing those kinds of creatures. Or do you want the gentle creatures? Gentle. Yes, I will do that for you, Veronica. So Shaylee, if you would like to do that. So Veronica, you know the drill, my dear. So just hold space. Unicorns, please. Okay, so I'll get you unicorn. Is there anybody else on here? Michelle, would you like a card pulled? Maybe Sue, would you like a card pulled? Anybody on Instagram would like a card pulled? Okay, so I'm going to put the intention in here. Gentle creatures. These guys are so cute. Okay. 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 You got 3, Veronica. But I don't know if I'm gonna have. I have your number, so I can text you the others. But I will. And remember too, if you don't get a card pulled, these cards can help. If they sing true for you, that message is for you. Okay. So all is one of them. All. Isn't that cute? Create. Oh, isn't that cool? Create and listen. Listen. So let me do all. I have not gotten this card all. Oh, yeah, that's okay, Shaylee. So if you want me to, I can do a card from each of them too. Okay, so all. So the gentle creatures is all. So this is for Veronica. And usually their statement is pretty short. So I will, I can maybe read all of them. Gentle creatures, all. And they are alphabetical, so it might take me a minute. All. When you are worried about your place in the world, remember this gentle creature, standing in the midst of a starry sky. They gaze intently at their own palms. What is contained within the space of 2 hands? How can any of us capture what the universe truly holds for us? It can be an overwhelming question, can't it? You could journal on the question of what is all in so many ways. Perhaps this is a reminder that we are all. Just that, all. None of us are None of us are any less valuable than the next member of the tribe. When we consider that our tribe consists of everything, like our friends in this card, we may find ourselves contemplating our own worth for those times that it may seem to be more than it can hold. Take a step back, sit down, feel your own root extending deep into the earth. Press your spine against something firm like a tree or a friend. See your own head opening up to trust up a ray of light that goes on and on and on into the sky. Repeat the following to yourself. I am all. I am enough. I all is all. Chant the words as you feel everything expanding upward. Hold on to the feeling of being one with everything. When that feeling fades, start from the beginning. Look around you, dear one. Who else needs the message? It is your turn to remind another that they are too, are all. Wow, isn't that a statement? So create. Connection, cosmos, create. Sometimes you must create your own fire. Ain't that a truth? Ain't that a truth? Thank you. Yes, bless you. Yes. Create. This is still Veronica, but I feel like everybody could hear this message. That's why I'm reading them. Sometimes you must create your own fire. This gentle creature was in need of a flame. They had to cross this river in the dark night with the moon hidden in the clouds. This was a journey they couldn't avoid taking. Belief in the power within is the message they carry. Even when they are at their lowest, they have a clear knowledge that is ability to make things is always within them. You may feel as if your own talent to bring forth your imagination has lapsed. Trust in your own internal flame, seeker. It may be that you need this time of living without a flame. It teaches us what life is like when we are disconnected from the authentic self. This creature is willing to share their igniting spark with you. Reach out. Let this card jump start you. Embody that creative flicker within. Pick up a pen, paintbrush, potting tool, or pans. It's time to execute that complex series of steps that is your unique dance. Make it known to the world that you are here to give birth to those wild and free ideas within your soul. Create a beautiful moment. Create another and another. Remember that your own spark will leap out and to ignite another who feels like you do. That is the gift of creating. Isn't that cool? So listen, I'm just going to give a gist of this one because I've had this card before. So this one is about, like I was saying, that it is about listening to one another. It's about contemplating. And remember, as there's the image, the reflection, remember that each of us reflect a part of ourselves. So if you're bothered by something of someone, think about how they are, how they're mirroring something in you that's struggling, right? So be willing to listen, because sometimes listening is teaching, and not enough of us truly listen. What a blessing that is. So I will text you the rest of that, Veronica. So thank you, Michelle. So let's see. You still want unicorn, Shaylee, or does the gentle creature speak to you now? And so, Michelle, would you like a card? I'm going to put those back in the gentle creatures. And I'll pull out the listen. Okay, so I'm going to do, Shaylee, I'm going to do the unicorns. Okay, Michelle, which one would you like? Unicorns or gentle creatures? Michelle, that would be, okay, so this is for you, Shaylee. Okay, just put your intention out there. You don't have to tell me what you're asking, but the energies will come to me kind of like a text does, right? And then you can, and then the cards will pick it up. Just keep your intention, bring the light in. There you go, Shaylee. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, you're going through a lot of changes, aren't you, girl? Yeah. Okay, the cards, this one here was singing to me. Listen to your true feelings. Okay, and there's another one here. This one here. Talk about your feelings. Listen to your true feelings and talk about your feelings. Wow. I can't make that one up, can I? Talk about your feelings and listen to your true feelings. I love these cards because even though they're just so Dorn Virtue, when she was doing her work, that she put out a bunch of card decks, and I know that she's reversing them, but my cards are my cards, and they've been my cards for over 30 years. So with that they're my cards. So these cards have just been, they were made with the good intentions and blessings. So listening to your true feelings and talk about your true feelings. So I will read this one. So with that, our feelings and our emotions are here to teach us. And if you can, when we have feelings and emotions, I talk to them like friends, like, hey, bud, how you doing? What do you need? I know you're fearful. I get fear that you've been struggling. Yeah, I get it. But I'm going to ask you to trust the process here. Trust this process. I talk to my regret. I know regret. We could have done different so many times, but you know what? We're okay now, aren't we? We're still learning. We still got to kind of maybe pick up what we let slide back then, but yet at the same time, we can do it now. We can kind of get our shit together now and get our thing going, right? We've got this. So talk to your friends like that, Shaylee. I hope that helps. Yes, it's been very difficult. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Okay, so listen to your true feelings. Listen is before love. Listen, it was right before. That's funny. Okay, so the saying that says, don't let others talk you into doing something that you know is wrong. Listen to your feelings. This card means that someone might ask you to do something against your better judgment. You may be tempted to give in to please the other person. A lot of us are people pleasers. You might worry that if you say no, the other person won't like you anymore. But this card reminds you that it's very important for you to listen to your true feelings before taking an action. You must choose for yourself what's right and wrong. If you feel confused, then talk with someone you trust, such as your mother, father, teacher, best friend. You can also speak to your angels. In the end, though, you must decide what's right for you. The choice must come from your inner voice, not your outside pressure. Choose a path that will make you happiest in the long run. Some choices only feel good temporarily, and then afterwards you feel let down. The best choice makes you feel happy for a long time. Here are the true feelings you will need, so make quiet time. Close the door of your room and turn off all noises. Shut your eyes and breathe deeply. Then ask the question in your mind and listen. Listen to your body, your heart, and your mind. Write down everything that you think and hear and feel and see within. Take the action in your heart is the right one to do. Wow. Talking to your feelings. Tell a friend how you feel. You know, I'm going to tell you this ascension process is about vulnerability. How can we be more vulnerable with ourselves? How can we be more vulnerable with others? And if you find you can't trust somebody, then don't be vulnerable with them. Because of the fact that, you can only trust somebody as far as you can throw them. But at the same time, though, there's people who you can trust more. Believe in them and they will believe in you. But if it doesn't work for you, if you decide to get sober and you have a bunch of drinking buddies that don't want you to get sober, it's time to get new friends, right? It's time to get new friends. Okay. So I'm getting short on time. So I'm gonna just, so this one is talking. So in other words, like the other card said, is trust your true feelings, right? Um, and I'm telling you that you're not asking for people to do a reading on my show, please. I don't do that for others because I value them. You need to value me. Please don't. Okay. So horses. Okay, so you want Michelle, you want gentle creatures. That's what you, and then you just said horses. These are unicorns. So same difference though. Horses, unicorns. But they are just, aren't they magical? They are just magical. I just love them. I love them. Okay, so I'm going to do gentle creatures for you, Michelle, and then nobody else has spoken up, and I'm grateful. I'm going to delete that comment because that doesn't work for me. Okay, so Michelle, if you would like, please. You're a unicorn. I can believe that. I felt like you were from the Fae, the elementals. So I am too. I have a lot of fairy in me. That's why I can sparkle sometimes. It just sometimes gets me a little bit to get my own flame going, like in the gentle creatures, right? Yes, Michelle, I do love the unicorns. They are so beautiful. They're magical, and we're going to start seeing these creatures coming out. I'm hoping that we can what's the word, not try to kill them. They have to trust being around us as we trust being around them. I think that's why the Sasquatch have been staying so quiet, because they're afraid they're going to get killed. I've been told I'm very close with the Fae. Yes you are. And that helps you bounce around in life a little bit differently. So remember, let the Fae of you get you through your troubles. Like somebody telling me when because I have Angel with me, somebody told me, Natasha, you have wings. You can fly above the situation. Hi, Terry. Okay, so I'm pulling oracle cards. Okay, so Michelle, okay, come down a little bit. You're kind of flying here. What is the thing that you are wanting the cards to answer? You don't have to tell me, but connect with them. There you go. Thank you. That helped. Okay, Michelle, there's a card right here for you. Oh, it came out again. It came out again. So you heard me read okay, so I'm going to do one more card for you here. One more card for you. Guardian. Ooh, Guardian. Isn't that amazing? Guardian. Guardian. So one of the cards was all, right? And you heard me talk about that. And then the Guardian. Wow, does that say a statement? And I haven't even read it yet. So we have guardians, guardian to guardian, teacher to teacher to teacher. Ain't that amazing? Okay, let me get to guardian here. And then I'm going to need to go. So guardian. So it's three owls watching over a creature, looking at, oh, it's a figure 8, or the infinity sign, isn't it? I thought it was another creature. Huh, okay. So guardian. Helps if I know the alphabet, right? Okay, guardian. Okay, the job of the guardian infinitely is no small thing. No small thing. 3 watchful guardians observe as our gentle friend contemplates the bottle that holds the infinite light. This is the source of all sacred things of the world. Within the bottle lies hope along with sorrow, fear along with courage. It is all things to all creatures. To be asked to be keeper of this light is an immense task, but one that is youngly has accepted. This young one has accepted. When you accept the task of caring for something, you take on a similar role. Each part that we play is woven into a greater whole. You are being asked if you are ready to assume the mantle of guardianship. I hate that a story for you, right? The guardianship in some new way. Only you can answer. But remember, there will always be others helping. You will never be alone in this work. So remember, the role that you... I know, I was thinking the same thing. There is no mistakes in this world. So remember, my dear, the reason you got sober is so that you can be... Try not to cry here. The guardian of a light. Made me cry too, because I was asked to be a guardian of light, and it's the light I can spread for others. Wow. So remember the y'all about taking it on, knowing that you're not alone and the universe has you in your hands. And then the guardian. You're more than welcome, my dear. You're more than welcome. So blessings to all on this journey. You are amazing. Remember that as we walk and go, life does happen, but all we can do are better. Remember to do it with integrity and in kindness as you walk with others. And I know I'm sick of everyone. You know what? But the thing is, though, shine like you've never shined before, my dear, because all we can do is be us. And the more that people try to shut us down, then it's time to turn around and walk the other way, or go around them, or to, you know what? Sometimes I need to put my light on a little bit of a dimmer switch. It doesn't mean that I let it down, because I still am me, but sometimes I'm too bright for some people. So I bring it down just a little bit on the dimmer switch, just so I can be with others. And then when I get done, zing, goes back up. Kind of like when I'm done with a fair, an intuitive psychic fair, I'm flying high and I've got my bright light on. Before I come home to my husband, I have to bring it down, because it's in the evening and he's not an evening person. He's usually asleep by 7. So remember, we don't have to be bright all the time. Okay, Shaylee? Thank you for being there. And remember, if you need any help, I do private sessions. You can reach out to me at angelicclarifications.com, or you can email me at natasha@angelicclarifications.com. We are here. Monday is the Dance of the Soul with Regan Forston, and we're going to be talking about relationships and how can we co-create with them, right? How can we co-create with them? And then on next Wednesday, I'm not too sure yet. Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 o'clock Pacific time. I am live. We are live, and that is Pacific time. So please come and watch. If you're looking for podcasts, these shows Mondays and Wednesdays shows are on podcast. You can go to Life Clarifications with Natasha. I'm noticing on most podcasts, the most recent podcast is at the bottom, so you have to scroll all the way to the bottom. I wish it was the first was the newest, but there's a lot of good shows on there. I've uploaded probably 30 shows up on podcasts. So blessings to you on this journey, and know that no matter where you're at, you are loved. You have guardians, you have angels, you have Fae with you, and they're all waking you up. So are the unicorns. They're all waking up with us. Blessed be to you. See you on Monday, and go follow me, please. Please like and follow if you are watching, because the fact I do inspirational quotes and videos for you to help you negotiate this world, because I like to support you. But please come to me for a private session so I know how to individually support you. Blessings now. Bye now.